Big! Yeah!
Gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Big! Yeah! Woo!
Welcome everybody to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 4th edition of our amazing Sunday open mic show on this Discord server. For all the new people, I want to explain the server in a minute. It's everybody mute himself, otherwise I have to mute you. So yeah, welcome to the server. We have a lot of new people from Reddit. We have people who just joined the server this week. So to explain the server in a short sentence, it's a server for people who love stand-up comedy, who enjoy stand-up comedy, and especially who want to learn about stand-up comedy. You know, here's the right safe space for people who never did it, for people who do it for years, just that, you know, can exchange about the craft and everything. So yeah, we are happy that you're here at this family. For those people who joined just this week, we have an amazing lineup today. And what's very special about tonight is we have a lineup full of people who never did stand up before. It's very unusually. We have like a lot of people who never did stand up before. So this will be a special moment for a lot of people tonight. And yeah. Before I start doing a little bit material of myself to warm up with goofy one-liners, I want to say some rules. It's like every comedian here has between 3 and 5 minutes. At least 3 minutes, maximum 5 minutes. If you have 1 minute left, I give you a little noise like this. I try to make it after a punchline so you not get interrupted with your cadence or everything. But yeah, this noise is yeah, and if I make like this, that means you're done, okay? So yeah, then for all the people, after when I start my tour, you can unmute yourself, you know, but try to not make as much noise as possible. Yeah, just the laughter, you know. And yeah, be nice, don't heckle. It's especially mean an online comedy show. But yeah, it's all about the positive love here, right? That you're brave enough to finally go on stage, even if it's a digital stage. But this is the first step before doing real comedy. So yeah, I would like that everybody is unmuting himself now. So we have this audience here.
Comedy.
Yeah, this is a very long audio. I know. So yeah, I know, but before I start material, I want, because this is the beginning and everybody is giving me his attention, I want to do a special thanks to all the moderators on the server. That's Hugh, like Cold Comedy Insurgent, to Ethan, to Erico, to Mojo Ministry, to Sam, and I forgot someone else. Fuck, who did I forget? No. I forgot someone else.
Probably a woman.
No, I think that was all. Right? So yeah, I'm especially thankful to you guys. The server is nothing without you. Thank you for all the work you put in. Also, thank you to all the other people who are not moderators but active. Welcome everybody. So yeah, blah 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 blah. This was a lot of dick sucking. So yeah, I will start with my my own material now. So I give myself a little bit of applause. Thanks. Yeah. So yeah, my name is William, I'm from Germany. I started comedy last year, and the only reason why I started comedy is because the only reason why I started on stage was because I couldn't afford to sit in the audience anymore, because I was fucking broke. And I realized I didn't have much money in life or any expensive stuff, but after my therapist gave me the bill for all the sessions, it's clearly for me now that the most valuable thing I own in my life is my depression. And, okay. So yeah, but I just had my last meeting, I can say. I did therapy for 1.5 years, and now I can say that I feel good again. I'm cured. And yeah, and isn't it crazy that the therapist knows all your secrets, like your traumas, your deepest wishes, your feelings? And because of that, I really don't know if I should really say goodbye to her or I should kill her, because this bitch knows too much. Because I mean, I think I'm an intellectual person. I'm intelligent, but I have these crazy thoughts, you know? I mean, I want to gain all the wisdom of the world, but I have those questions. For example, like, if a dirty female vagina smells like fish, does a dirty fish vagina smells like human? I mean, or like, is it crazy? Is it crazy that children with cancer can totally relate to snowmen? I mean, both have no hair and only one winter left. I mean, so yeah, maybe I should continue with therapy. I don't know. It's crazy times, right? It's really crazy times. It's Corona, and I think we learn a lot in these times with all this quarantine. I mean, I learned that because of Corona quarantine, there's a 30% increase of domestic violence. But I also learned that my girlfriend is very shitting with cooking. Very shitty with cooking. I mean, and it's very crazy with all those people like with this face masks. Everybody gets annoyed because we have to because we have to wear face masks now. But you have to look on the bright side, you know. Now you can talk bullshit about the deaf people. Yeah, and because of quarantine and of Corona, I watch a lot of movies right now, superhero movies. And what I realized is, as a child, everybody wanted to be Superman because he has super strength and laser beam, and his only weakness is kryptonite. But when everybody gets older, they want to become a fuckboy with his charm and ghosting, and the only weakness is AIDS. So yeah, this was a very interesting laughter. So yeah, and yeah, I'm German, like I said, and I met a lot of Americans on the server, like a lot of Americans, and the only thing they're asking me is, do you feel guilty? Like, do you feel guilty because what happened 70 years ago? And I have to say, guilt is a horrible feeling for me, really. I can't handle it. Even 70 years later, this feeling is still strong for me. It's so bad, I can't even rate Jewish restaurants online. Because back then, they didn't want 1 star. Now they want 5. A Jewish comedian was very angry about me when I said this joke once on stage. And he's kind of famous in my scene, but I won't tell his name because I am a man of honor. But I will not give a number because I am not my grandfather, right?
See my face right now.
I like that.
So yeah, but let's end this with all the stereotypes about Germany. Yeah, I mean, my girlfriend is not German at all, and that's totally fine for me. I mean, we don't have any culture barrier, except that she always gets nervous when I ask her to take a shower. Okay, like last week, I will end it on here. I hope I warmed you a little bit up, my friends and my family here. So yeah, are you ready for the next comedian? For the first comedian for tonight, give me some love.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone.
No, wait. I've introduced you. I'm very excited. First of all, I wanted more people to unmute themselves. We need more laughter, guys. We need more laughter. I see Meg. I see Machi, the name. We need more reaction. This is comedians, right? We eat emotions. We need emotions. So I hope you guys. Yeah, it's crazy times. We need emotions. So the next comedian, or the first comedian of the first half, deserves a lot of love. His name is Jay. So give him a big round of applause.
Thank you. I liked your choice. Wait, what?
Oh shit.
I think never mind. I thought I left for a second. I was like, oh no. I like the intro. Well, it was a great setup for my bit that I'm going to do. Because I think cult leaders are the biggest practical jokesters. And they remind me kind of like frat boys, You know, hey, dude, it'd be really fun if we could get a bunch of guys and have them chop off all their balls. That'd be so funny. Oh, bro, what'd be even better? How about if they all committed suicide with random change in their pocket? No, bro, even better. They die by drinking Kool-Aid. Oh, goodness, some of the insane things cult leaders have them do. You just can't make this stuff up. Hey, let's go into the middle of the jungle and build an entire town just for fun. No, I think one of my in my opinion, one of the funniest cults, but also kind of the most reprehensible is the KKK. So you know how nerds in high school, how all of them they all liked the hot girl, right? But they all knew they could never get the hot girl, so they always hated on the hot girl, right? Kind of like my relationship with Frozen, but they secretly like her, and I think frat boys experience the same thing, or jocks experience the same thing, but in reverse, right? They openly criticize the things that nerds do, computers and D&D. But I think secretly they really like it, and let me show you the proof. I'm just going to look up right now. I'm going to look up the names of the ranks for the KKK. So this is at the bottom. This is the first one. The Grand Magi. He's the second officer in authority of the dead. All right. The next one is Grand Cyclops, the president or presiding officer of a meeting. Above that is the Grand Giant. Then you have the Grand Titan, and then above is the Grand Dragon. And the head of all of them is the Grand Wizard. And of course above that is the Dungeon Master. If you ever want to get a good laugh, you look up the Klansmen. They have this whole book of words that they use, and it's just so pretentious and dorky. You have sandbog, you have itsub. They just take normal words and they just put initials in it, just for they make an acronym just for fun. It's quite amusing. The type of people who join are the people that they were that one kid who always dressed up as a ghost at Halloween, who just it was like, why are you wearing a white sheet? Like, oh, when I had them pinned. Yeah, no, there's some pretty great clans in there. But another good one is another good cult is Heaven's Gate. I don't know if you've ever looked that one up, but the stuff that the leader, the head, the cultist says, man, you would be hard pressed to find an equivalent in any science fiction movie. I mean, it's just complete and utter gibberish. Where they talk about ascending to the supernatural and becoming one with the cosmos. It's funny. And I think am I my 3 minutes? I ran out through that material really fast.
Give him a big round of applause! Open his head!
All right.
Here's the thing. Opening is so hard. They call it to take the bullet for the other comedians. And you took a lot of bullets right now, so you're a great person. It's good that you're still. What people don't know, like for people just tuned in today, is like every time when Jay performs, he has like this positive energy. And if you keep it up, you will be better and better and better and better. So keep going, my friend. You're great.
I have to hop out, but
Don't kill yourself. Don't kill yourself. That's all. Okay.
I was just gonna join the cult, you know.
Okay. Good.
We
Okay.
get
So our next comedian is in fact female. Yeah, that's very unusual for the internet that we have females on the server. But she's a great person. I hope she's ready to go, ready to kill. Give a big round of applause for Cat John Cranston.
My mum's over my shoulder right now. Sorry, guys. Mummy's gone. Sorry, I'm smoking my cigarette while I'm doing this. This is unique for my second ever comedy set. To be smoking a cigarette while I'm doing it, but I take whatever I can, you know, from all the men in my life normally. Anyway, so I want to talk about gluten because gluten's been actually a topic. It was a topic last week, and I want to talk about it because I have a dietary requirement that is founded in science. Yeah, I like to tell people this straight up. I tell people this and they either go, oh my god, yeah, I have that as well. Like, oh my god, I get so tired whenever I go get an In-N-Out burger or whenever I have a bowl of pasta. Or they do what this guy I lived with once at uni, they do what this guy did and they go, oh, so Kat, I could sprinkle some breadcrumbs on your pillow, right? And I go, yeah, you could. And he goes, and that would make you violently sick. And I go, yeah, that's how easily done it is, yeah. And he goes, good to know. And then leaves the room. So that was fun for me. That was really fun for me. And yeah, so by founded in science, by the way, that genuinely happened, by the way. And by founded in science, and it actually did happen. I was violently sick, but I was also drunk, you know. So yeah. And by founded in science, I know that that's vague, but you know, I've had extensive tests. I mean, by extensive tests, I mean blood taken out of my body by another person with a needle. We do that as humans. No one talks about it. We do that. What other animal does that, you know? I've also had a camera shoved down my throat into my body, which was, and when I found out that I was needing to have this done, I was imagining something no more sophisticated, no more ergonomic, no more scientific than a selfie stick. So I was pretty terrified. And can you imagine any other animal that would do that? You know, sorry, Barry, I'm a chimp doctor. Just open wide, yeah? Don't worry about it. I'll give you some leaves afterwards. Like, what the fuck? And like, I can think of one animal that takes blood out of us, and we have fucking nets named after them to protect ourselves. And I thought, nope, I'm fine. I'll keep eating gluten. I'll keep living in excruciating pain and sleep whenever I'm not at high school. And I'll definitely end up a productive member of society if I do that. So, yeah, I had the endoscopy, hallucinated a lot on the drug. The drug, by the way, I found out was the same drug used as the lethal injection in Texas, which is hilarious for my mental health anyway. But yeah, that's how they get you. That's how they get you with clever names like endoscopy, like clever name, like, oh, I don't know what that is. Sure, I'll sign that form. I didn't know what it was. That's how they get you. That's how they get you, the medical people. But, you know, I have nothing against you if you have a dietary requirement and you avoid something that makes you feel better, you know. If you avoid dairy, but you don't need to, you know. It's nothing personal. It's nothing personal. I'm just better than you. It's nothing personal. I'm just better than you, you know. But, you know, do what floats your boat. Do whatever floats your boat. Just don't sink other people's. That's what I say. Peace. Peace.
All right.
Give a big round of applause.
Very good. Very good.
I like that.
Okay, guys, this was amazing. Give her some love in the chat. If you want to comment on the comedian, just post an open mic chat. Show her some love. I see people.
Love. I love.
I want to say if I mute someone, then I think it's because you're making noise and he doesn't recognize it by himself. So, but I try to unmute you guys right after, you know. So because we have so many comedians in the lineup, we should straight go up to the next one. The next comedian is the Mad 523, and he wanted a special introduction. So please welcome a man who's cooped up in his house doing data science, Matt Jordan. Applause, guys! I need energy.
Hey, I didn't realize.
Let's go.
Didn't realize the special introduction was so special, but how's it going? Just getting back in the game after a while. I thought I'd get back in the game because what better time is there to attempt comedy when hundreds of thousands of people are dead and everyone's stuck in their home? I mean, we are basically living in a dystopia right now. And I don't mean like a dystopian hellscape like in the movies that we all for some reason want to escape to this shitty world where all the women are inexplicably much hotter. No, this is more of a dystopia dark comedy. I mean, think about it. So think about it. There's a horrific virus that's spreading rapidly across the country, but our leaders don't really care. Police brutality is being heavily exposed and is leading to constant protest, and the police apparently feel the most appropriate response is to just beat up people more. They apparently think they can just beat people to the other side. And our president is a fascist nutcase who dreams of being a dictator, but is way too impatient and incompetent to actually do it right. Almost no movie would be able to be this complex and multi-layered. Nobody would believe you. Hell, if anything, like if you wrote this down on paper, like if you wrote those old dystopias of like that we've watched for decades on paper, they would almost seem awesome by today's. Like, I mean, would a world where the government is extremely competent really be that scary? Sure, they'd be evil, but they would be competent. Yeah. But it's like the vaccine will only go to the rich and powerful. Whoa, you have a vaccine? Yeah. It also doesn't help that our leaders are so old, and that young people seem to be millennials no matter how old we get. We're in our late 20s and 30s now. Every article in the newspaper about millennials is always about some wealthy 21-year-old hipster who goes out drinking every night and goes to a college so liberal that a black hole ruptures in the universe. There's weird stereotypes that don't really make any sense. Like an article in The Guardian said that the coronavirus has domesticated millennials. Domesticated? Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Did they think we were like, I don't know, Sumatran rat monkeys or something? Wait, no, that's an obscure reference. Did they think we were rabid wolves or something? I mean, man, who would have thought that a 38-year-old married couple in the suburbs would know how to mow a lawn? I know, right? 38-year-olds should be participating in wet t-shirt contests and partying their asses off at expensive clubs. I should know. I'm a 64-year-old editorial writer who learned what kids do by watching Revenge of the Nerds in less than zero on Fast Forward. Anyway, in my life lately, it's been remote working at my job, ordering Seamless, and binge watching cartoons I watched as a teenager. I've been watching The Simpsons lately, you know, that show that ended in 2000, and you will say so as long as I wave this broken bottle around. Anyway, I was watching that old episode where Homer eats blowfish poison, the fugu, and he's going to die in 24 hours, you know, because all deadly poison is extremely slow-acting and asymptomatic. Look, in real life, Homer would have known after, like, 5 minutes if he was going to die, and he would have known that because he would have collapsed on the floor in a heap and ceased breathing, because that's what actually happens when you're poisoned by fugu, and the sushi restaurant would have been sued the hell out of business. But it got me thinking, like, the Japanese take fugu preparation very seriously. It's a whole science that requires like licensing and training, and it's a whole art to it. And it made me think, like, how many times did they get it wrong before they cracked it, and how many people had to die to test it? Be like, okay, Hideki, you try. No. Oh, okay, Yoji, your turn. Hey, he lasted 20 minutes. We're getting closer. Yeah. Granted, the way people discover things is amazing because of all the implied but unmentioned failures. I just read. Did you know how LASIK was invented, or at least like the idea behind it? It wasn't lasers at the time. In the 1940s, a Spanish ophthalmologist did an eye operation where he would. Everyone listening should strap themselves down for this because this is insane. He would cut out the cornea of someone's eye, dip it in liquid nitrogen, use an industrial lathe and a chisel to reshape the cornea into the right shape and somehow not shatter it, and then he would thaw it out and sew it back in the eye. And it worked! And it worked! The guy's vision was instantly improved. This dude was a fucking cornea blacksmith. Anyway, so yeah, that's my time.
Give him a big round of applause! listening to you.
Thanks, guys.
Listening to you, I felt like home, like this angry delivery. Like that was very, very German, more than you think. No, great comedian.
Well,
Great
thank you.
comedian. Yeah, great stuff. It's the first time you did the mic here. Yes, you do, right?
Yeah, not the first time I've done stand-up in my life, but yes,
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
my
yeah.
first open mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the Discord mic is that what counts, right? So yeah.
Yes. Yes, this is my first. Yeah, cool. Yeah.
So was a great set, great set. We should go straight up to the next comedian.
Thank you.
Yeah, the next comedian is Godwin the Atheist. He changes his last name all the time. He's from Europe, so I think he's the first European from the lineup right now. So give him a big round of applause for Godwin! Show some energy, guys.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Feel free to microphone so I can hear you laugh, because otherwise I get depressed and can sleep tonight. No, so let me get started. So, you know, when you start talking to a person or a group, they tell you that it's good to break the ice, right? Maybe with an interesting question or something. What they don't tell you is that when you leave, you have to refreeze that shit up. So when I usually a conversation, I say something like, "Night is dark and full of terror." Including at morning brunches, I think it gives them something to think about throughout the day. And I would like to have a job like my granddad did. He used to wear a uniform and go around feeding homeless people, make sure they're productive. But unfortunately, all the concentration camps were closed after that. He used to work as a chef in the kitchen, and he said that the menu was very easy to remember. Pea soup and bread, pea soup and bread. Well, not that many times a day. He was genuinely impressed at the people there. You know, as a chef, he's never seen a more devout group of vegans. And he was even more impressed at their work ethic, because those people there, they were famous for working themselves to the bone.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Sorry, too much. Let me light it up. Okay, so my brother and I, we have a very close relationship. It's based on respect and love, but also who can hit each other in the head the hardest. And next time I manage to hit him, I hope I can give him a moment he can never remember. And you bet that when I'll go to visit him in the company, in the hospital, I'll tease him a little bit for not being able to say unforgettable anymore. Me and my brother, we about the same size, right, and body size, and we borrow each other's T-shirts and clothes and stuff like that. But how come all of a sudden when I borrow his girlfriend, I'm a jerk? I used to date a girl that had OCD, and I must tell you that was very difficult. Every time I managed to make her wet, she would just clean it up. I dated a girl that had attachment issues, so I had to attach her behind the car no matter where I'd go. There's this little hook behind the car. Well, I didn't have it, so that's what she used to convince me to get a new car. Gross. On occasion, I've been described as a sex machine, and that machine is unfortunately a Wi-Fi box that can't maintain a strong signal. Look, I love to travel, and sometimes I travel with work, and they tend to put me in hotels and stuff like that. And the problem that I find is that there's always something not working or not being all right in a hotel. So the mini fridge isn't working, or there's cum visible on the bed sheets from the person. But at this particular hotel was a little bit more special. The receptionist tells me that, "Sir, I'm sorry, but I have to inform you that the Wi-Fi is only working in the bar and the lounge area." I said, "No problem. I'll just masturbate in the lobby area." But my girlfriend was especially upset when she heard that, because she wanted to use the lobby. So I consider myself a good partner. You know, I like to make sure she's satisfied. So I agreed to use the bar. But my opinion is that online dating, but apparently so can a vacuum. Yeah, I'll let you guess which one is cheaper when all is said and done. Have you ever tried to get cum out of a vacuum filter? Because that shit's impossible.
Damn.
So I asked a friend of mine if they want to get some McDonald's together, and they're like, no, I don't eat like McDonald's. And if I do have to eat at McDonald's, I'll probably just get myself a salad. Like, asshole, buying a salad is at McDonald's is like going to church to masturbate. Sure, you'll have company, but it's only the employees that can understand you. I lost my virginity to this famous person called Ronald McDonald in one of their restaurants. Yeah, from that moment on, I vowed to always have enough money on me to pay my bills. At least he was happy, but he was only happy at the beginning. Then I told him my age and he couldn't go on. 18 was apparently too old. But listen, I'm not going to stand here and talk about how I lost my virginity. I don't want to. Which is also the kind of thing I said that.
Give him a big round of applause!
Good job. Holy shit.
Yes.
This was a good set. I mean, but I still think that Edward Snowden has better internet than you right now. Like you really should work on that.
Really? Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, like the people in chat already commented that your microphone sounds like an ASMR feature with all the bubbles and stuff. But it's fine. Great set. Big applause. Yeah. All the love.
Okay, no, sorry about that. Next time.
Our next comedian in the lineup is known for his extremely good microphone, for his extreme sexy voice, and be careful because he can put you in handcuffs. So the next comedian, it's an insider, but the next comedian on the lineup is Comedy Insurgent. Give him a big round of applause.
All right.
Let's go.
Your voice turned me gay.
Thank you. Thank you for that mostly fake applause. I can't tell you how great it is to be in a crowd of people and not hear the phrase "kill Whitey" hurled at me for once. That's great.
Oh my god.
I went to a Black Lives Matter rally last week, and I started chanting "Hands up, don't shoot," and then I remembered it was the wrong black guy. Look, guys, I need to prepare you for something, okay? I've got a pretty dark sense of humor, okay? In fact, it's so dark, it's currently setting a dumpster on fire in Minnesota, okay?
Oh my god.
But I'll tell you what, I mean, it's a weird time we're living in. We have medical marijuana almost everywhere in America now.
Weed. Yes.
And I'm fine with it, okay? But never in my life has a doctor prescribed me a drug and then told me to light it on fire. But yeah, I don't do drugs or anything like that. I do drink a lot, and I drink vodka, which is one of those drinks that really kind of sneaks up on you. It's like you're always one drink away from having your lawyer negotiate a bond reduction. And I'll tell you, I mean, Will said it perfectly. I'm a law and order kind of guy, but I don't really get pedophiles, okay? I mean, why would you go through all the trouble of trying to pick up a kid from a daycare or like a playground when you could just move in with a single mother? Hear me out, okay? Preferably a single mother with a disabled child, okay?
God almighty.
Then you've got the pedophile's dream in America. You've got a great parking spot and a witness no one's going to believe, Elon Musk heard he's planning on sending people to Mars. I'd like to go to Mars. If you knock up a girl there, you could feel a lot better about aborting a Martian. Yeah, technology always fails. We saw that today. the other day, my internet went out like what everyone does. I started clicking the off-on switch on the router like a crack addict with a broken ladder. Back to abortion. Look, some kids are just born fucked up, but if you're going to have a fucked up baby, I recommend having a Down syndrome kid. Down syndrome kids are like the superheroes of the retard universe. Okay? They can do anything.
That's kind of fucked up, bro. That's kind of fucked up.
Cops are getting a bad rap in the news lately. I like to think back on a more innocent time when the sheriff could go unarmed and just like Mayberry, like Andy Griffith, just go solve problems in the community without a gun and stuff. But I noticed in Mayberry there were a distinct lack of armed black guys geeked up on PCP. I'm an older guy, so I can remember back to the days before the internet and all that stuff. And you guys, you can just send, like pictures to each other instantly. I remember back to the day when you had to build a dark room in your basement to expand your child pornography collection.
Guys, chill.
I'm from Texas, and we're a pro-gun state. It amazes me that I can walk into a local gun store right now, buy an AR-15, walk around with it cocked and loaded in public, my finger on the trigger even, and then go kill a lot of people who didn't buy an AR-15. And what's even more amazing is that only that last part is illegal in Texas. But guys, I just want to tell my fellow comedians something. I'm glad you're all here. And I want to give you some advice. Look, stand-up comedy is a lot like being a serial rapist, okay? The vast majority of us don't kill the first time we try it, okay?
Oh man, he's fucking funny, bro. Oh, he's fucking funny, bro.
Yeah. Good job, man.
Yeah, this was great. This was great. Everybody had the boner before, and now everybody is finished. So yeah, this was a great set. Great set by our good friend Hugh. He's a great person too, one of the great moderators on the server. So the next comedian, she's also a female again. So be gentlemen, guys. Don't get overexcited. You should know her because she won one of the prizes we had in our writing tournament like 2 months ago. So she won a writing journal. And this is the first time she's doing this open mic here, so give her a big round of applause for A365. Give her applause!
All right.
Is this thing on?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, it's on.
Okay, awesome. My connection is famously terrible, so... this is my second ever open mic, first one on Discord, so there is a pretty real possibility that I'm going to bomb up here. But before I do, I just want to let you know, if that's the case, my dad fought in Nam, so at least it's hereditary. Yeah, shout out to Matt for bringing up how shitty 2020 is. Solidarity to that. Coronavirus is terrible. Coronavirus is terrible for everyone except for dudes who catcall. Their time has come. That's dating now. Yeah. The fun fact about 2020 is that both the 1920s and 2020s have been roaring. The difference is that the 2020s were roaring because of almost unprecedented economic development. 2020s have been roaring because the apocalypse has forced us into our homes where we've all decided to watch videos of a gay meth-smoking booner from Florida we now worship as our tiger king. It's the same thing when you think about it after moving to Florida and starting a meth addiction. So without further ado, let's go over information about me. You're the IRS. Okay. I grew up in a majority Mormon community. And there's never been a gang problem there, but everyone in the town was really afraid of one developing. It makes a lot of sense because it was a majority Mormon community. How would you ever know? My first boyfriend was a communist pre-med student. If you don't know, that's like the Vespa of boyfriends, and that your parents don't know whether to encourage you to ride it or not. I never saw myself into prostitution because I'm bad with salespeople. And of a sex slave with the 2009 Toyota Prius.
Damn.
What does anyone not want a 2009 Toyota Prius? Help. Kidding. I'm also in college. That's fantastic. Really, great to be able to do that. I am though learning about a lot about how to save money. There's so much student debt in America right now. Basically, everybody's in the red, white, and blue. Just the entire situation is crazy, I'm learning a lot of tips on how to save money. For example, if you want to find a really cheap massage therapist, you just have to look for a normal therapist on Yelp with enough 1-star reviews. Another fact about me is that I hate watermelon cubes. Thank you. Okay, I don't know who did that, but just high five, solidarity. Woo.
Oh my god.
Oh, they're so stupid. Why would we collectively decide to spend time turning a pre-existing food item into the same food in a slightly different shape? It's like, this is the trick class of my nightmares, okay? So long as I'm not naked in a classroom and there isn't a nun holding a baby that's also somehow me, I don't need to know about the geometry of a watermelon. Like, name them watermelon cubes anyway. That's the worst name for any food. It's somehow both the least creative name possible and sounds like a 50s slur for a gay guy who's also kind of lame. I also don't get America the Beautiful. Let's talk about patriotism now. That's going to be fun. It says that we're the land of the free, home of the brave. I don't think brag about that. When's ever been brave in a good situation, okay? When's the last time you've heard of someone bravely driving well? When you're being brave, when you're keeping calm in the middle of a forest fire. When you're being free, when you're starting that forest fire. Don't get me wrong, that is a great description of what we do as a people, but I don't get why we'd advertise that. It's like when you see an eyeshadow palette it's like when you see an eyeshadow shades named Perversion and Arson and a palette named Daily Essentials. It's like, I don't know what's more concerning, makeup brand. The fact that I can't even begin to comprehend what you're into, or the fact that you seem to want me to. Call the authorities, or is that somehow part of it? Speaking of makeup, I love it when people advertise makeup as your skin but better. What's the alternative? What else's skin would it be? And on that mildly disturbing note, I am going to be done with the set. Thank you all.
Woo, good job.
Make a big round of
Hey.
applause!
Yeah.
Hey, let me tell you. You killed so much, a guy got banned. So this is so good.
Comedy.
Yeah.
Wait, who was that?
You mean
Who did that?
his name was Rando. So, but yeah, give a big it was so difficult, I think, to have the set. And give a big round of applause again. A second time, go on. She did great.
Hey, yeah. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job. That was funny stuff.
Damn. So guys, sorry if I ban some, I mute some people of you because you have an extremely crazy laugh or something like that. I don't do this to be mean. I just try to mute and unmute people, so don't take it personal. Okay.
Fuck you, Jimmy Carr.
Yeah, here's a lot of Jimmy Cars today in this room. So, so I think this was a great comedian so far. It was amazing. So the next comedian. He's a legend because he did his first time last week and he was already in our hearts after his first set. So give a big round of applause. This is a very big thing. Give a big round of applause for Meme Master.
Woo. All right.
I'm not laughing too loud, am I?
Sound good.
You're fine.
Okay.
I've never received so much attention and love since. Nah, I can't remember. Hello, I'm Meme Master, and the only reason I'm here is because, well, back when the comedy clubs were open, I wasn't allowed in. Fake IDs and So I just want to tell you all that when I leave and when I don't want to say grow up, that would be offensive to you all, but reality is reality. I have a 2-year-old cousin who has recently.
Oh no, my mom's call.
He's definitely showing an aspiration for comedy. We were up at his house last night, and he produced a lovely, a great one-liner. I'm going to need the participation of some of you for this. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Pooh.
Pooh.
Gotcha.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. I would bring him along next week, but he's performing. So I had a bit of I had to rush home earlier. Because Will put out the announcement, and I was at my granny's house, and I thought, oh no, she won't let me go now for another 5 minutes. This is going to be insane. What will I tell Will? And I thought, well, I'll just tell him that Osama's uncle was driving me home. Got pulled over. Oh, he's here. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I decided to take a water bottle tonight, so I can feel like I know what I'm doing, even though I don't. It's my second time. Where's my notes now? I don't prepare for these things, and therefore I put out terrible jokes, and well, I really feel like I fit in with these terrible jokes. Oh wait, my mic isn't good. Oh no.
Keep going. Just hit us with another one.
Yeah. I think the person before me there, A365. I felt very bad for them whenever that happened. You know, I thought I would have enjoyed it a lot more if he took it. He took away my concentration from that, and I want to apologize to you for that. But anyway, all's well. I had a good 20 minutes to prepare everything, and well, I only got 2 things.
Sounds like you don't have more material then.
No, I don't.
Okay, give him a big round of applause.
Yeah, thanks.
Woo! Yeah!
Good try.
Come back next week with more stuff.
I am so sorry, I fucked up your introduction in the beginning. You wanted me to tell as an introduction that you're the only person here who's not allowed to going into clubs legally. But I fucked it up. I'm sorry. But
you're
still
fine.
great. You pushed through. We have a daddy issue here right now in the server because the next person can't because he has to feed the baby. Brandon, could you do the next? Oh, okay. You just texted me. Okay. Give a big round of applause for the closer of the first half, Brandon Dushililege Smith.
Brandon!
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
We hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
I was watching the news recently, and I saw that there was a statue of Christopher Columbus, and they cut his head off. You know, I was really glad when they did that because I never liked Columbus. Not because any of the imperialist stuff, just because I'm very racist against Italians.
Oh my god.
I've been watching the news a lot recently, and I have a theory that I don't think a lot of people are realizing, and I think that all the looting is caused by the coronavirus because all the stores have been shut down for 3 months. People would very gladly just buy these things legally, but then they're just protesting and they see that they got to break a window to maybe get some shoes or something. Amazon charges like $5 for shipping. No one wants to do it. But I've been thinking of a lot of weird random stuff I've been thinking about, like why do we call a woman's biological clock a biological clock? It should clearly be called an egg timer.
Oh, brilliant.
Nice.
Sorry.
I think that it's weird that people who sniff glue have a harder time keeping it together. I mean, I was also wondering if double-jointed people have worse arthritis as they get older, but I've just been hanging out, and quarantine's good because I've never had like a big social life anyway. And one thing that has gotten me sort of annoyed recently is some people do this thing called cultural appropriation, which is like when a white kid gets dreadlocks and smokes weed, but he just likes smoking weed. He doesn't actually care about Jamaica. There's this cultural appropriation thing that's been going on recently where people are culturally appropriating being socially awkward, and I don't like it. Like, I remember we were inviting this girl to a party once, and she's like, I don't know, I'm like so socially awkward. And I'm like, you were homecoming queen. There's other times when they're like, oh, this is so socially awkward. Haven't you ever seen him at parties? And here's the thing. If you have a reputation of how you are at parties, you're not socially awkward. I've been invited to very few parties in my time, and I'm such a wallflower that I once got invited to a party I was currently attending. My friend texted me, he's like, dude, this party's going really well, you should come over. I'm like, yeah, I'm here. He greeted me as I walked in, I'm in the same building as you right now. Yeah. An interesting thing happened recently where someone tried to blackmail me. They sent me an email saying that they hacked in my webcam and recorded video of me watching illicit content and yanking it and doing all that stuff. We're going to send it out to all my friends and family. I was really worried when I saw that because, like, my webcam isn't good and the lighting in my room is terrible. So I messaged a guy. I'm like, listen, can we reshoot this? I don't want to send that. I want to put my best face forward. My friend's a film major. We could get all the lighting done real well, professional like. So I wasn't that worried because he said that all my friends and family were going to see it, but his exact plan was to send it to my top email contacts, and that's not my friends and family. That just means that Domino's Pizza is going to get a very shocking video. I am a pizza delivery driver. That's what I do as a job. I was really disappointed when I got that job because I watched a lot of videos about pizza delivery drivers when I was a teenager, and it turns out they aren't very accurate. Remember there was this one time I delivered pizza to a sorority and all they gave me was an excellent tip. It was terrible. Like I get if you have better things to do than hook up with your pizza delivery driver, but it's not going to take a lot of your time. You always come within 30 minutes. I've been doing that too much in quarantine too. My favorite category when I watch that is barely legal. I don't know if you guys watch any barely legal stuff, but that's when a girl hooks up with an illegal immigrant. Then he can stay in the country. We're watching TV a lot too, and one thing they always have is this ad where it's like a British guy in Africa, and he shows African people with the buckets on their head, and they're going to the water, and it's all murky, and they're like, they have to walk 5 miles to get to water. I'm like, why? Why can't they just move the village? How does your village have to be there? That the abundant natural resources? Is it rich infrastructure? No, you live in a mud hut. Move the mud hut 3 miles down the road where the water is. It's not hard. The only thing I could think of is that guys just did it so that they have an excuse to get the woman out of the village for like 3 hours. Look out the window, they're like, okay, they're gone, and then they watch like African NFL. Hang out in a man cave, which is just a cave. But, yeah, I think that's all I have for this week, but thanks. I didn't have a lot of time to prepare.
Good job, man. Yeah, British. Yeah.
So loud. That was a good one.
Damn, this was a worthy closer for the first half. I want that you all give a big applause for all the comedians who've been up on stage in the first half. Give a big round of applause. Come on, show the energy. Okay, before I let you guys in a 10-minute break, I want to tell you something. Just a personal note and a little bit of an announcement. There are subreddits like stand-up or stand-up comedy. There are two big subreddits. I wanted to partnership with the one subreddit called stand-up comedy, and she said, okay, we can partnership, but can you promise me there will be no offensive jokes on your server? And I said, suck my dick. So no, we couldn't partnership with them. I defend my family if I can here, okay? So, and the other server, the stand-up subreddit, I asked them since October, and there's this moderator called Funnymat, and he hates my guts, so we can also not partnership with them. So what I just did, and this is a little bit of announcement, I will just post it now. We have our own subreddit, and we are looking for moderators, and if you want to give some feedback about the server or anything comedy related, I would love if you use the subreddit or just follow it. It's very huge for us because it can help us to reach more people, so the community is bigger and better for everybody. Yeah. So I just posted this. I would love if you.
What is it called?
I just posted it. I just posted it. Like, guys, you don't know how long I asked for a partnership with the subreddits, but it's impossible. So fuck those guys. We do it on our own. We're the best. Yeah. So if you're somebody who's experienced with Reddit and wants to be a moderator and stuff, we need more people. Just DM me and I will make you moderators if I trust you. Okay. So I will let you go into the break, 10 minutes, and then we're there with the second half. Okay, guys? Big round of applause for everybody.
Hell yeah! Who's not ready?
All right.
Who's not ready? Hell yeah!
I play some music for you for 10 minutes.
Hope
Do you
it's
have
more
any
smooth jazz.
I was just gonna say smooth jazz.
You mean?
Is there any other Discords for stand-up comedy that you guys know of?
I don't know about what?
Is there any other Discords for stand-up comedy that you guys know of?
Yeah, there's one.
This is the most active one.
Yes. If you don't like us, then just give us feedback.
I'm just curious. I was trying to join like both of them, or I mean, if there's more than one that's active.
You can do, but
the other server is intolerable with dark humor.
Okay.
No, like the thing is the other subreddit, that said, hey, you can partnership with us if you don't have offensive material. They have a server, but the last message is the invite link to our server. So there's nothing going around, and I didn't want to sell our soul that we can partnership with PC culture, so we do it on our own.
To be fair though, if you go to that other Discord server, it's kind of like buying a bootleg phone charger. Yeah, it works, but sometimes it
just
Do you think
falls
that's
apart.
the best name? Do you think what's the best name for the subreddit?
I couldn't take other names. I tried everything. I don't know what you're thinking. I tried to have the best name. Stand-up I couldn't take stand-up comedy. But if you click on the subreddit, it's a little bit different. But I
think stand-up comedy Discord is fine because I mean
if people the most people who are.
What about stand-ups with the S at the end? Stand-ups.
The thing is also like people looking for Discord for stand-up comedy, and they find Reddit posts about that, and I want that they find the subreddit, I really thought about this, and hey guys, I tried for 10 months to get the partnership, all the DMs, and nothing is going, and now I said, fuck you guys, I'm out of this, we do it on our own. Yeah.
You did the
yeah.
Seriously.
Never go PC.
Yeah. Like I can show you messages later. It's insane what she texted me. Like you have to understand that stand-up is political. You have to understand that it's about power and stuff. And they're like, fuck you.
What the hell?
The people who come up with the idea that, oh, your comedy is offensive. Well, I mean, that's comedy. And if you don't like it, get out. I hate people like that.
Yeah, it's not even just comedy. That's life. You're going to be offended in life. Like, that's not the fault of the person who's saying the quote offensive thing. That's your fault. I'm sorry.
Especially if you go to a club and you're like, I'm offended, then why were you at the comedy club?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, it's gonna filter out like the ultra offensive stuff that's not funny. No one's gonna want to listen to it, and the person who's doing it's not gonna be able to do it to anyone. So it's just gonna filter out the stuff that is funny, and that's the thing we all want to hear.
Yeah, there is offensive comedy, but that's bad and that's not funny. But there's also a tasteful way to do it.
Yeah.
I just think that it's a great way to use comedy to discuss this very difficult topics such as rape or abuse or stuff like that. It's not that you're mocking the subject or how serious it is, it's that you're trying to make fun of it to be able to discuss it in a lighter form, sort of.
Yeah. Making something strictly off limits is just going to be difficult. It's like somebody who's really good might be able to make it funny and do it in a way where it's not offensive. But if you make some off limits, you're just leaving that out. You're just stopping the art from being made.
Yeah, some of the best sets on the planet start out with cringe, and that comedian is able to turn it around and give you like an emotional roller coaster, and then to have you laugh after being all cringy is even better. It's like, oh, he made it.
To put it more simply, like the joke has to be more funny than offensive. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if it's getting more offensive than you actually know how to deliver the joke, then it's no longer a good joke.
Definitely right, man.
Unless you work around with dark comedy, so that's the thing about it.
No, I think that's like a universal thing when it comes to edgy comedy or dark comedy. It has to be funny, otherwise you're just being a dick.
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes it's hard to know where the line is when you're just starting out.
Yeah, true.
Some people might be more offensive at the beginning, and they'll learn how to draw it back or whatever.
Yeah.
But
It also
need
depends
to
on the
allow
audience.
People to experiment. Yeah, you need to allow people to experiment.
That's true. What I'm saying also that depends on the audience. Like you need to know the crowd somewhat before you can try some jokes. You can't go to some countryside religious place and start, I don't know, by making jokes about God or anything. That'll be too offensive.
How's everyone doing?
I do it for $20. Just go randomly, just tourist cult, just spew out some stuff. Honestly,
I didn't catch much of the first half, but what I did catch, everyone seemed to be doing really well, and props to everyone.
Yeah, hell yeah, it's been a good show.
Yeah.
Congratulations for all those who popped their comedy cherry as well. Look forward to hearing more of you guys soon.
Alright, guys, I'm back. I got some milk and cookies, and they are delicious.
Cool, man.
If you're not gonna share, then why are you talking about them?
Yeah. Such selfish needs, man.
What kind of cookies you got over there?
Yeah, what kind of fucking cookie monster you're at? Spread the good shit for everyone. Damn.
It's probably oatmeal raisin,
Yeah, it's probably fucking oatmeal raisin on this.
He's probably doing that thing where he's dunking them in the milk first.
Yeah.
I actually like
fucking
those.
oatmeal. Ugh.
I like
It's
oatmeal.
okay.
Like if they're Oreos, you can dunk in the milk. I think that's
Oh,
okay. Yeah, but I mean that's the one exception as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, there's also fried Oreos. That's another exception.
Oh.
That's kind of like that's a big diabetes right there. So
Diabetes! You'll become my grandfather after eating those.
Yeah,
Fried Oreos?
fried Oreos. Yeah.
That sounds very American.
It's very. It is, and I've seen some. What the worst part I've seen was like there was fried cheesecake. I was like, oh hell no, because I was not gonna get that type. I was not gonna get that type of dessert because it's just a full-on cheesecake being fried battered.
That's the worst thing you see?
Disgusting.
Dude,
No, it's
they regularly have fried butter.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot
Fried
about
beer.
fried butter. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's
State Fair, you get all that shit.
It was nasty. Oh god.
I don't get the culture of frying everything. I seriously don't get it.
America.
I remember seeing a woman eating it, and it was just dripping off her shirt. I was like, "Mom, I don't want to see it anymore." Mom! It's like I was running away from it.
What's the weirdest thing that you've had that's fried?
Butter.
Fried.
Not fried.
Oh.
Not fried pussy. That's for sure. So.
Twinkies. I've had fried Twinkies.
Wait, you never
I
had
want to see a
fried pussy?
Yeah, I mean, you can't have fried cat unless. I mean, you can't have fried cat unless you're in China, so you can't eat that type of shit. But you know, I'll probably get a plane ticket route and just transfer it to it.
It's worth it, dude. You know,
It's worth it.
Fucking how to eat fried pussy.
Could you imagine though, like the next virus comes from a cat instead of a
Fried
cat,
pussy,
though, and we
fried
call it the
pussy.
virus?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. The pussy virus.
I'd like to call it.
I mean, hopefully it's not an STD, but you know, it is whatever.
It sounds like it, honestly. It's a COVID and an STD mixed together. What does it equal? Fried batter. It's
I was
fried
doing
batter
some reading
STD.
earlier, actually, and it's looking like COVID can be sexually transmitted as well. So, yeah, everybody's walking around with a fucking STD right now.
Oh, yeah. Shit nasty.
I don't know what they're doing, man. Fucking without wearing a full body condom.
I don't think I could deal with another COVID if it happens within the next 5 years. It's just too much, man.
Yeah,
I heard
enough of
COVID
shit.
season
It's
2
about
is
to
coming
get-
back this winter.
Oh, no, not again.
No, it's second run, I guess. It's gonna come back.
It never left.
It never left. The second season, the first season never finishes.
Some fucking idiot up in Lexington opened up his church services, and next thing you know, almost all of his parishioners are fucking sick with COVID. Like, who could have pictured this? You know, I mean, I get the whole God can protect me mentality. I mean, you're basically going in there, it's almost as bad as licking a fucking doorknob, you know? It's a cesspool.
I'm gonna pop me open some liquid courage.
I'm popping me open some root beer, because I'm a good Christian child.
You probably popped some child's cherry.
Oh
What does root beer taste like?
It tastes like
Beer with a side of root.
You stole my line, you motherfucker.
It tastes like
Sorry.
This is why they crash planes into our skyscrapers.
Why did they irritate us?
Are you sure that's why?
Why 9/11 initiate dark comedy?
Oh shit!
US?
You guys, something's happening. Something's
Oh
happening.
my god, it's your bomb!
Oh god.
We've had enough on here.
50 seconds.
Everyone's great.
If
Yeah,
you're ready to
but
roleplay what the others were saying.
Shit, something's happening. I'm going on mute. I'm going on mute.
5,
Why did he go on mute?
4, 3, 2,
Don't mess up the countdown.
There's
I
10
thought
minutes
down for
already.
the pen break. I was like,
Yo,
T
all
minus
this sudden
20
I feel like I'm
seconds.
gonna bomb.
you will.
Now you're not gonna bomb.
Thanks to this
You're gonna blow.
counter.
You're not gonna bomb. You're gonna blow.
10,
Hopefully.
9,
Yeah.
Oh, quick,
Seven,
help us. We gotta cut the red
6,
wire, cut the
5,
blue wire, we
4,
got a yellow wire.
3, 2,
I mean, if you're gonna blow me, you don't have to cut any wires.
0.
Pink wire.
Ah, shit!
We are back! Thanks for everybody who waited for the second half. Osama, I have to say,
Hopefully my sisters don't interrupt.
Osama, I have to say, when you started to count on by yourself, I was a little bit nervous, but yeah, everybody's back. Thanks to everybody who followed the subreddit by now. This is really how you can support us, because, like, especially for me, it's very emotional because I had so many fucking talks with those people, and I'm so happy if we have our own subreddit. So even if you don't like Reddit, just follow the subreddit. It helps us that it gets up in Google, and so more people come to the server, and then we have bigger mics and improve better and can suck each other's dick. So the next the next I like this energy. So the next comedian, the opener of the second half, he's well known. He did hundreds of shows in New York. He is a father. He's everything. Give a big round of applause for Ethan.
Thanks for having me on. Will, it's good to be here. So I'm a little bit of a nerd. I've had a lot of weird jobs in my time. Like I used to do tech support for this online video player company. This one day, this guy emailed us, he was like, hey, does your player work on Mac? I responded, yeah, it works on Mac, it works on PC, it works everywhere. Guy emails me back and he's like, hey, thanks for your quick reply. Maybe I should rephrase my question. Why can't I get Pornhub to work on my Mac?
Oh my god.
That's a real email that I got at my job, dude. That's a real email I got at my job. But I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to respond to that because that went from an innocent question, super filthy, in like one mouse click. I was a good tech support guy and I wanted to help him out. So I just told him to restart his computer. 15 minutes later, he emailed me back and he was like, thanks, it worked. I was like, it doesn't take you 15 minutes to restart your... Dude, you finished masturbating. Got it. 5 minutes later, he was like, it works again. I was like, all right, dude, I got it. It's a weird job. It's a weird job. I felt good. I made a difference in that guy's day. So helping young men jack off across the nation. Basically, I'm not gay, but I've helped a dude or two, jerk off in my time. All right, moving on. So my parents go to this really musical reform temple in New York City. Surprise, I'm Jewish. They're always trying to get me to go. My mom is always like, Ethan, you should come. The temple is led by this really cool hip rabbi. I'm like, Mom, wait, hold on. Stop right there, okay? Words cool and rabbi do not go together, okay? That is impossible. That's not a thing. That does not exist, okay? Rabbi Mordecai, he's so hip and cool. My mom was trying to defend him. She was like, really cool, he has a nose ring. Okay, yeah, that's gonna make me want to go. I only care about the piercings that you don't see, okay? Rabbi Mordecai. So definitely I'm only gonna go if his nose ring is a Star of David, okay? Mom was like, no, they are actually live stream services. And I was like, okay, then why do I have to go? I'll just sit there from the corner, the convenience of my own home. No. Cool hip rabbi, that's just like a New York City thing. That doesn't exist anywhere else. Okay, maybe parts of California and Florida, like the super Jewy parts of some states. That's it. So I feel like being a cool hip rabbi, the bar is really low. Every other rabbi is just old and boring. You play one chord in the guitar and you're a cool hip rabbi. You like they were trying to make the religion a little more cool though. But seriously, cool hip rabbi, that's like a priest that molests the least amount of children. Okay? So I was down in Florida recently, and I went to go eat at Chick-fil-A, and I know it's not too popular from where I'm from up in New York because they're really strong Christians, they have very conservative views, and they're very homophobic. I'm as liberal as the next guy. I took one bite of my Chick-fil-A sandwich, and just for a second, I stopped giving a shit about gay rights. So I'm a father. I have a 1-year-old daughter, and my wife and I had to do these fertility treatments to get pregnant. We had to do this thing called IUI. My wife had to take medication to help her ovulate, and then we had to do what the doctors refer to as timed intercourse. I try to be romantic with my wife and stuff. Yeah, this is a real thing, timed intercourse. I just try to be romantic with my wife and hit the moon and stuff, and she'd be like, really shut me down. She's like, Ethan, I don't really want to do it tonight. I'm really tired of feeling it. I'm gonna go up. Hey, doctor's orders. Have to. I'm making up the rules here. I'm just more along. I don't want this any more than you do, but right here. I have a prescription right here that just says SEX. I feel like there's reality show competitions for everything now. You know there's actually tattoo reality show competitions, Ink Master or whatever. What if you're the person that gets tattooed and then the tattoo artist gets eliminated? It's the competition for them, but it's the end of your life because now you're just stuck with a shitty tattoo forever.
Yeah.
I feel like things are stretching. For mobile games out right now, where you seriously frost cakes and blend juice. I was playing this game, I was blending carrot juice. I fucking hate carrot juice. Okay, is that how sad we've gotten? A boring life simulator. I think I haven't gotten a minute yet or minute beep yet, but I think I'm gonna end with one thing. Do you guys know the play / musical Les Miserables? You want to know that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You guys know the song "Castle on a Cloud"? You guys know that song from that play? Yeah. Anyways, when I was 13, I actually wrote a parody to that song. I'm not a bad singer, but I'm gonna sing it right now because I just found this in my house. The song is called on a cloud. Here we go. There is a toilet on a cloud. I like to go there in my sleep. Shit and shit and shit some more. And when I awake, there's shit on the floor. There is a toilet all of white. My pee is nice to see and it's soft to touch. Say, penis, I love you very much. There is a room full of perverts. Have no pants. They had no shorts. Tried to live in, but they only drown in my toilet on a cloud. All right, that's all my time. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Give a big round of applause for Ethan.
Ethan!
He killed it with his comedy, but bombed with his singing. That's amazing. This is in one set. Yeah. And people say Discord stand-up is not real. It's super real. So thank you, Ethan. It was a great set, like always. You're a great comedian. We should go up to our next. You should go to our next comedian. He wanted to have a special introduction, and I will give it to him. So, I present to the stage a pedophile's worst nightmare, Didier!
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Stage is yours.
Let's start with an origin story. So, when I was 7 years old, I survived being chased by a German Shepherd. Anyone that knows that breed knows I was lucky to survive unscathed. The worst part of the experience wasn't almost being mauled to death by a beast, but that my older sister just stood there and watched the whole thing, which is why she wasn't as lucky as I was. So didn't sleep too well this morning. I got woken up by loud banging on my windows. I mean, who the hell bangs on your windows at 5 a.m.? Anyway, I took a look, didn't see anyone, just 13 pigeons in the middle of an orgy. Gives a whole new meaning to PG-13. Sorry, bad joke. But speaking of sex, that sex education show on Netflix, it reminds me of my first sex education class. My buddy from a strict religious home was caught vigorously masturbating at the back row. I was like, what the hell is wrong with you? The response was, this is the closest I'm going to get to porn. Might as well make the best of it. Or something like that. Or something like that. I'm just paraphrasing what she said. I'm actually staying at my uncle's. My uncle is an oncologist, no pun intended. The doctors that treat cancers, tumors. Really amazing guy. He treats cancers like they're nothing. This chap smokes 2 packs of cigarettes a day. An oncologist, ladies and gentlemen. My uncle's also a devout Muslim with 7 kids. 7 kids, I think. Because every time I come over, I meet a new baby cousin. This time, I met the latest addition to the family. The kid just started talking, so they're teaching him new words. Say dad, say mama, mama, say jihad, jihad. That's yeah. I'm not kidding. That's my uncle's name, by the way. Jihad. What a name, I know. But 7 kids, though. I told him you can't afford to lose your job. I could always do Uber if I lost my job. I've got no kids, but you don't even have Uber as an option. I mean, how are you going to get enough passengers, considering your passengers will all receive the notification, Jihad will be arriving soon? So that's my dad's brother. My dad's been through a lot. He likes talking about how he was poor when he started working. His salary was low, blah, 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 blah. And him and my mom would struggle to make ends meet. Because my dad was broke and my mom wouldn't put out for no broke ass, N-word. It's okay, I'm black. My mom is a devout Christian, but the masochistic type, the type that wakes up every day in the middle of the night to pray for family, she prays for me, which is nice, but she's always tired. So I told her, Mom, it doesn't matter if you wake up to pray at 2 a.m. or pray at lunchtime, you still get the same result. Unanswered prayers. Yeah. So I'm not sure about this next joke, but here it goes. YouTube's got some interesting stuff. I watched a police interrogation of a man. He was caught with a suitcase containing the sawed-off torso of an unidentified woman. When I asked who the woman was, he replied, "She was my other half."
Oh.
Wasn't sure about this joke because it's a kind that splits the room, but yeah. Anyway, let's talk about girls. So I recently found out about OnlyFans. Anyone here on OnlyFans? Blew my mind. And I told a friend, I was like, "Can you believe some attractive women are receiving large sums of money from men just for talking to them? No sex whatsoever." And he went, "Stop reminding me of my wife, please." Girl trouble. So guys, do you ever have girls say this when you start dating? You never tell me how you feel. Stop hiding your emotions. Stop hiding your emotions. I found a way to make him stop, guys. Here's what you say. So this is what happened. This is what I did. So we just started dating. I need to know I can trust you first. I'll tell you what. Let's share our darkest secrets. I'll go, then you go. I once killed someone. Oh my God, who? Was it an accident? It was my ex, and no, it wasn't an accident. But why? Why would you do that? She kept asking me to stop hiding my emotions, so I listened. What's your secret? Always works. Actually, there was one time where the girl went, "Oh my gosh, me too," and that was really awkward. But anyway, she's not my girlfriend. My current girlfriend got me an Amazon Echo out of the blue. She likes to think she's tech savvy. She's not. But it's a cool device. I just shout, "Hey Alexa, do this. Hey Alexa, do that," and it does most of the things I want. My girl, she's a perfect girlfriend, except for one thing. The smallest interaction with a female leads to accusations of infidelity. The other day, she came up to me in tears. "Didier, you cheating scum." I was like, "I'm not cheating." She's like, "Yes, you are." "No, I'm not." And she was like, "Then tell me, who's Alexa?"
God, oh my.
Yeah, she bought me the present, and anyway, thanks. It's been Didier. You guys have been great. Black lives matter.
Great set. This is also the first time you performed on this mic, right?
First time performing.
Sam, so many deflorations today. That's amazing. I like that.
Well done.
So the next comedian on the lineup is Rep Strike. So give him a biggest applause, Rep Strike.
All right.
For a second, I thought you guys weren't going to clap for me, and I was about to get really nervous. So, guys, how are you liking Discord?
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
It's amazing, right? There's actually some pretty funny conversations you can have on Discord sometimes. Like one time, like I just randomly jumped into there's my sister, if you guys heard her. So I randomly joined the chat, and I don't know what they were talking about before, but I joined in, and somebody started asking, "Yo guys, what would you do if your girl cheated on you with an old man?" And the first thing I said was, if she goes after an old man, what does that say about me? Like, if she's into older men, what does that say about me? Am I an old man? Am I ugly? So, I'm not much of a ladies' man. oh my gosh. I've had such a bad experience with women that anytime a group of them walk up to me, I think, uh-oh, what are they going to do to me this time? What are they going to trick me into doing? I don't know. Something just happens when people operate in more than two groups. I don't know what it is. Anybody remember that one time Arnold Schwarzenegger just got randomly kicked in the back by some random dude?
You were that.
Yeah.
Dude, like, what was going through his head? Like,
whatever was thrown at him.
Like, he just woke up and he was like, "Dang, I'm gonna kick Arnold today." So, in case you guys didn't know, right now I'm in my skimpiest outfit that a boy could wear. Got like booty shorts on. Thank you. And that's one perk of being a guy, is that if you wear booty shorts, you won't be called hoe, but instead you'll be called gay. So it's a pretty big perk. So we all know of old people, right?
Yep.
I haven't heard of them.
I mean, we all have grandpas and grandfathers. But my question is, what is with old people and nearly dying every time they fall? Like, are their bones made of wood or something? Like, I get scared every time my grandfather gets out of the car because I think he's gonna trip on a rock and die. So have you guys ever been to church before?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dude, I have been as well. So I work in the back with the lights and all the technology and stuff. And the randomest, most weirdest thing happened. So like, excuse me. So service is going as normal. You know, they're playing music, they're worshiping God. They're like, "Oh God, thank you for giving us breath." And then we just start hearing this coming through the speakers, and like we're wondering what the heck is happening. And turns out the guy who was playing the keyboard, usually the preset is on church keyboard, but this time it was on maracas. On simple maracas. Alright, well, it sounds like that's all I have time for.
You have 1 minute left.
Oh, 1 minute left. So, back to being terrible at picking up girls. So I watched a lot of YouTube videos on picking up girls, and I found this dude who I believe to be the Chuck Norris of the dating world, and his name is Alpha M. This dude could literally sell leaves to a tree. Cause like every time he does a video, he sells Teach Handley, and you're like, how's he gonna sell it this time? You know what I mean? But he always finds a way to sneak it in.
Give a big round of applause for the strike. Was amazing set. Amazing set. Sometimes it's very funny with the joke bombs because there's dead silence. I love it. But no, you had a great set. Great set. Give some love to Rep Strike in the in the chat.
Yeah, good job, dude.
Good job. So, and we have another lady in the lineup. Yeah, it seems like I think this is the high score we have in ladies in our lineup today. That's good. We are a very friendly server. Yeah, family friendly. So I don't know her, but I think she will be great. Give a big round of applause for Fig.
Yay! Let's go.
Yeah. I don't know if you can hear me well, so you'll have to tell me.
Yes.
Yeah, good. Yes, I'm good.
Okay. I tell you to lower your expectations, but I'm a woman comic, so it's kind of redundant. If I don't talk about the taste of jizz, I'm ahead of the curve, so... Yeah, I've been losing weight lately. I lost around 40 pounds, but I don't want anyone to applaud that. It's like applauding a kid who came fourth in the Special Olympics. It's not like I've achieved something, but it still doesn't really make me a real person. But I can't lie. I've only been losing weight to get guys. But it's not that I'm expecting a better caliber of guys. I know my place. My dating philosophy is kind of like the sexual equivalent of veganism. I will sacrifice my own enjoyment and take one for the team so that other women can put something nice in their mouth. But yeah, it's because the kind of guys that I'm into, I describe as not needing a jacket in winter. And until recently, I got winded eating spaghetti, so I figure at least one of us has to be able to do 30 seconds of cardio. But I used to think, I know I need to practice now, because I used to think I was good at sex because a guy once told me I fuck like an ugly chick. But he didn't actually mean that in a positive way. He just meant it that it was clear I'd never gotten laid. I didn't know what I was doing. But I've got to work on other shit before I even attempt a relationship, because I've got a lot of problems. I decided to give psychiatry a go again, and I went on Thursday to the psychiatrist for the first time in about a year. But it didn't go well. It really did not go well, because my psychiatrist was black, and I'm not talking American black. I'm talking straight out of Africa, nighttime camouflage black, and I cannot compete with that. I mean, how the fuck am I supposed to say, I haven't achieved anything in my life, when she's thinking, well, most of the women in my village have had 3 kids by the time they're your age.
Oh my god.
Or I hate the way I look, I feel fat, and it's have you seen Live Aid? I mean, just be glad you have enough food to be fat. Or my mother, I have low self-esteem because my mother was mean to me, and it's well, mine cut my clit off. How the fuck can I compete? How the fuck can I compete with this imagined backstory? This is what happens. This is what happens when you use an entire continent to guilt Western children into eating vegetables. So so I'm declared legally sane because of white guilt. It's. But I have to look on the bright side a bit, because, if I'm going to fuck like an ugly chick, I mean, at least I'm unmedicated now, so I'll fuck like a crazy chick too. So I try to look on the bright side. I ran through all of my material very, very quickly, so that's about it.
Big round of applause for Vic!
Good job, Vic.
Killed it.
Damn, if something was proven tonight with all the comedians, women can be funny. That's amazing.
That went a lot better than I expected. I wrote that all in the last day.
Were you nervous?
Yeah, I've done open mics before, but I
gotta tell you, I've heard a lot of people, and I didn't sense any nervousness.
That was killer. Great talent right here. Great talent here. Yeah, this was really good. You didn't sound nervous at all.
Don't tell me this. I have low self-esteem. I can't cope with. Don't feed into my delusion.
Okay,
low self-esteem is one of the prerequisites of being funny, though. That's great.
Okay, if you don't want compliments, the only reason why we are nice to you is because you're a woman. So this is better.
Yeah, that's more like it. That's more like it.
Okay.
Put me in my place.
Okay, straight up to the next comedian who's not a woman, luckily. So no, it's a joke.
Damn.
So it was. I love you all. I love women. I love men. It's fine. So the next comedian. Okay.
Will you love me gently?
Okay. Give a big round of applause. He wanted a special introduction. His special introduction is only if blowjobs are an option. Give a big round of applause for Joseph B. Bonanza.
Hey,
Joseph.
Thank you.
I want to blow you.
Yay! All right, good.
Can I blow him first?
Yes, Court. We'll set up a schedule after my bit. All right, so let me just start off by saying, Will, I'll be waiting. All right. Obviously we've all been in quarantine. It's been so fucking great. I really think that I've been through Netflix, Hulu, HBO, Pornhub, their entire fucking catalog, right? It's just been days of fucking binging. So what I started doing, because I was so bored, I started playing a lot of board games recently. And I started off playing really whatever I could get my hands on. I would play Monopoly, Uno, chess, checkers. But I was looking in my closet last week, and I found my favorite from when I was a kid. I found the Game of Life. I still, to this day, love the Game of Life, because you can fit all that shit that you hate about life in a half-hour span. But I think the Game of Life needs to be modernized. I think we should have different rules, but it's based on your skin color. So hear me out. I know that's a radical idea, Don't lose me just yet. All right. So if you're white, really nothing changes except like there's like two new tiles. Like one is I said the N-word on national television. I'll pay $10,000 for an apology tour. And the other one is if you're a cop, pulled over black guy gets slap on the wrist from the person to your left, right? But if you're black, the game drastically changes. First of all, you only start off with a third of the money as your white counterpart, which I think is pretty fucking generous compared to our actual society. And then on top of that, the tiles change. So, say your white friend landed on one square, he would had a great month at work, collect $10,000 bonus, right? Well, if you as a black man landed on that same square, it would be got pulled over by the cops, pay $10,000 in hospital bills. So I told a joke to my grandmother. She's an old white lady, and she didn't laugh once, right? Because for some reason white people have this like entitlement where they feel they need to be offended, even though 90% of them never went through any fucking oppression. So I had somebody come up to me the other day and be like, "Well, they call us crackers. Why can't I say the N-word, right?" Because first of all, I've never heard somebody use the fucking call someone a cracker like unironically, right? Like, "Oh, you fucking cracker! What, you want some Swiss cheese on your skin?" Like, that's some bullshit. Okay? if you get fucking offended by that, you know what? You just go fucking hang yourself right now. Just it naturally looks like shit kicking the ass. You know what I mean? Like I'm Italian, right? So like back in the Al Capone days, cops used to fucking call us wops. Let me just tell you, if a cop comes up to me right now and calls me a fucking wop, I'll laugh in his face. That's not even fucking insulting. But so I was running it through with this person. So like they're like, "Yeah, it's cracker is offensive." So like, what the fuck do you do if someone calls you cracker? You just break down on your knees like, "Oh my god, he called me a crisp snack that's great with savory toppings. How will I go on?" All right, that's my time. Thanks, everybody. Good job.
Good job.
Guys, the second half was fire, isn't it? I mean,
yeah.
Last week it was like the second half, everybody was a little bit tired and stuff, but damn, people killing here. Killing more than COVID. So, the next comedian...
Good one!
Oh my god!
Classy hack from my side. So,
Classy hack!
Cat Daddy, are you ready? Cat Daddy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Scared.
Cat Daddy, give a big round of applause for Cat Daddy!
All right!
Yeah, I'm excited.
Right, thank you. Well, I spent a year and a half in a mental institution. So let me tell you about some of the characters I met there at Hillside Adolescent Psychiatric Hospital. Tim introduced me to heavy metal and we became headbanging buddies. He was depressed, his face covered in acne, and he stayed hunched over like an old man all the time. He was the least crazy person at Hillside, but he was the clumsiest. He would injure himself while headbanging. At meal times, he'd knock over his drink at least once a day, and he routinely walked into the same damn street lamps on campus over and over. Tim was covered in bruises like a shitty cage fighter. He would just laugh at his clumsiness and keep on trucking, though. He had a strong sense of humor and could give as good as he got. And we talked about everything, especially our next-door neighbor, Donald. Now, Donald was a different animal, classically psychotic. He was tall for his age, maybe 6'2" at 15 years old. Donald had a full head of flaming orange hair. Think Conan O'Brien meets Marge Simpson, and you got it. At his best, Donald was the witty comedian at heart who loved making people laugh. But at his worst, Donald believed he was various comic book. His most imitated character was Wolverine. Anytime you heard Donald say the word bub, you knew he was about to flip out and get himself put in a straitjacket. The staff jokingly called their green straitjackets green burritos, and Donald was intimately familiar with the green burrito. Sometimes he'd fight the staff, other times he'd crouch in shrubbery, believing he was invisible. One night, Tim and I caught Donald up in a pine tree, hiding from the staff about 12 feet off the ground or so. Now, the campus was lit up nicely, so Donald was not hard to spot in spite of wearing all black garb with a black t-shirt around his face, and the shirt arms were tied behind his head, forming that low effort ninja mask that every 8-year-old knows how to make. Tim looked up and asked Donald what he was doing. Donald looked down and growled, "You're blowing my cover, bub." So we just left him there and let the staff find him. And they did, once again, tucked his ass into the green burrito, kicking, screaming, and growling because Wolverine growls too. Donald was a fucking handful.
Hell yeah.
We did group therapy all the time. Fucking group therapy. Kids and staff sitting in a circle in the dining area like some weird underage AA meeting. No peace pipe in that circle either, just fucking despair. Just a general visceral despair. And one night, some kid mentioned how deadly rat poison is, and Donald retorted, "I've eaten rat poison before, and it didn't affect me." A staff member named Bob stood up and said, "Oh, so that's what's wrong with you." Everyone looked at him, man, and God, Donald hated that. He stood up with his back to the group, facing the cabinets and drawers along the wall. He ripped open the silverware drawer, fumbled for a moment, whipped around and threw a butter knife at Bob, underhanded like a goddamn throwing star. And the knife stuck in the wall maybe a foot above Bob's head. Some of us jumped out of our seats, others' mouths opened in astonishment. Now, Donald got the green burrito for that, too, because he flew out of control in the aftermath. And he swore from that day on that he was a ninja, and one day he would share his training. He was so proud of that knife throw. It was the first thing he bragged about after leaving the green burrito. So Donald was crazy, but a different kind of crazy than Matt. Matt was type 1 bipolar, about 5'8", a slum fellow with brown hair and eyes. Matt had a heart of gold and was normal until something made him laugh. Within seconds, his brown eyes would glaze over with crazy, and his laughter would escalate into this screaming, psychotic rage in like 60 seconds. He'd start tearing stuff up and attacking people. And Matt was an average-sized fellow, but it took 3 or 4 trained men to restrain him, and they worked hard to hold him down, too. These were usually big guys. One was a pro baseball player named Pete, who appeared to enjoy steroids. I don't know, but Pete was fucking jacked. Now, the furniture was bolted to the floor. Otherwise, Matt would have been the ultimate tornado. Like Donald, Matt had a black belt in the way of the green burrito. Also, like Donald, Matt took those ass-kicking sedatives on the regular. Now, while I ramble on, you may have asked yourself, what is wrong with this guy if he spent a year and a half in a loony bin with people like that? The answer is schizoaffective bipolar disorder with paranoia, so yeah, a handful. But thanks to meds, I have the cognitive wherewithal to know that the voices I hear aren't real and that no one is actually trying to kill me. For now, anyway, the meds have hobbled my worst symptoms. Otherwise, it's loony bin time, so big shout out to Vraylar, Zyprexa, weed, and especially psilocybin, my chemical saviors. Speaking of drugs, that leads to the story about how LSD landed me a 5-year prison sentence 6 months after getting kicked out of Hillside. But that's a tale for another day. Thank you.
Oh,
yeah!
Dan, this is your first time doing stand-up online or any time?
Anytime, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well
you didn't sound
done.
nervous
Yeah,
at
man.
all. Yeah, like, you're so, like, and I wanted to listen more. You're great, dude. Great. Keep going.
Dude, my palms are sweating. I appreciate it.
Yeah, by the way, I have to mute some people from time to time again. I know my light is always on, but I don't do noise. So, yeah, don't take it personal, guys, in the chat. I see some are crying in the DMs because I muted them. So it's fine. We have two more comedians in the lineup. 2 more comedians. So, Fatou Samor, are you ready? Are you there? I just want to check.
Yeah.
Is he there? Is he there?
Oh,
Is he
I hope
there?
so.
Fatou Samor. Don't make me sad.
That's not good. That means I'm up next. No, don't do it. DM him. Somebody. Does anybody know this guy? Get him on stage. I'm not ready.
People are at him.
Send him porn, quick!
I mean,
Send him
yeah, that'll work.
Okay.
Send him the good shit. I don't know.
Okay, guys.
Fat USA more. Fat USA more.
Okay, Craig, be quiet. Thanks. So, the next comedian on stage. I can do that. I own this shit. Okay, thanks. So, look, the next comedian and the last comedian and the comedian everybody loves on the server is Beer. Give him a big round of applause.
Beer, yeah.
All right.
Hey, calm down. I get it. We all love beer. We've been getting ugly guys laid since 1850.
Yeah!
Ugly chicks too, by the way. Hey, it's a two-way street. So, I went to my first strip club, guys, as an adult. First one. Woo! Fuck yeah.
Nice.
I know. But man, there's some weird ones out there. My friend called me up. She's like, hey, let's go to a strip club. And I was like, nah, that's not really my thing. I'm kind of sheltered child, And she goes, but there's going to be a midget stripper there. A midget stripper. I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Let's go check this shit out. So I come over to her place. Pockets are full of $50. I figured the midget would like that. We get into the club. We walk in like 45 minutes later. Everyone is doing a chant. They're like, Bridget, the midget, Bridget, the midget. And I'm like, I made a mistake. We see Bridget, right? She's climbing up the pole. She looks like a freaking koala bear climbing up, looking for eucalyptus or something. On the way down, she looks like Mario at the end of the level when fireworks started going off in the club. I don't know. That was a weird strip club, guys, but that's my first experience. My mom drank, obviously, when I was pregnant. So when I was born, my face had a Sharpie dick already on. It was okay, though. When I was a kid and growing up, I used to play Grand Theft Auto. Loved that game. Tried playing it recently as an adult. And I was like, these cops are just kind of doing their job, It's a pretty violent game. You guys ever notice whenever something violent happens in the news, like a shooting, they'll blame it on the way we make guns seem cool in male action movies? I think that's why we need more female action movies. So instead of like a guy walking up and being like, go ahead, make my day, it's more like, hold up, let me tell you about my day. You imagine a registered sex offender who put all that shit behind him, started a new life, fell in love, had a kid of his own. That kid got a couple years older. Then he couldn't go within 500 yards of the school to drop him off. All right, little buddy, daddy's good here. Just 3 blocks up. Make a left at the gas station. And if you see anybody that looks like me, run. You guys ever feel like they round up on horsepower on cars? Like the numbers are just too perfect. I think what we need to do is establish some fractions with some lesser animals. So your next car would be like 299 horse, 5 golden retrievers. I feel real bad for Anne Frank because I know it's a. But hey, it's what I do. I probably could have done better. But listen, Anne Frank had it rough. But it's even, imagine it's every girl's worst nightmare to have her diary read by the whole planet. And she didn't get a single dollar for it either, which is simultaneously every Jew's worst nightmare. Broke up with my girl finally. Crazy bitch. When we broke up, she was like, you're never gonna find another girl like me. And I'm like, that's the point, bitch. That would be like me going into the forest, getting mauled by a bear, surviving, and going and looking for another bear. All right, so I'd like to pitch some. Let's switch it up a little bit. I'm going to pitch some movie ideas tonight, today, wherever you are. First movie's called Speedboat Catastrophe. It's a melodramatic tragedy about a guy named Speedboat battling Crohn's disease. Maybe not. Probably not going to see it on Netflix, I get. Movie idea number 2 is a down on her luck pregnant woman becomes an unlikely superstar in a high-stakes underground sport of competitive lactating. That movie's called The Last Drop of Titty.
Damn.
All right, let's move on to movie idea number 3. This movie's called Horse on a Freeway. The story, basically, everyone is late for work because there's a horse on the freeway. The whole movie is just like people in their cars, they're honking their horns, they're just going nuts behind the wheel, you know, yelling things like, "What the fuck?" Movie idea number 4 is a group of high school guys try to get laid before they graduate. The twist is they're all victims of sexual abuse.
Oh my god!
That movie is called Are You Sure You Want to Do This? Movie idea number 5 is a blind man uses faith to climb Mount Everest. Easily, that one's called Plummeting. And finally, guys, to bring it home, movie idea number 6, and you're such a fucking great crowd. Bringing it home, this movie's a 2-part. Basically, the first half is we got Rosie O'Donnell. She's back, and she's going down a line of guys that she hates. There's a long line of guys, and she's just choking them out to the death, one by one. And then there's a 90-minute intermission. The second half of the movie is we got Al Gore, and he's dressed up like a baby, and he's in a bathtub, and he's eating soup, and he's saying things like, "Hey, that's some good soup. Hey, soup's on." And that movie is called Better Than Avatar. Thank you, guys. That's my time.
Applause for beer! Damn, this is a killer. Damn, this was. I think this was a great ending for our 4th edition of our Sunday open mic. Give a big round of applause for everybody for today. Come on, guys, bring all the energy.
Yeah! Yay!
Yeah.
All right.
Otherwise, I have to do this, and I don't want to do this. Or like this. So yeah, this was our 4th time of our Sunday night. We do this weekly now. If you want to support the server, follow the subreddit, participate in the server. If you didn't get the reaction today you wanted to have, do it again. This is what comedy is about: bombing and performing and becoming better. This sounds like a very boring slogan, but it is like it is. So, so yeah, guys.
Hey, Will.
Yeah.
What's the difference between your mother and an onion?
I will cut it out. What you say now? It's fine.
I've never done coke out of an onion's asshole. God damn.
I have to say, you told this joke like 5 times already, but I always forget the punchline, and so I'm always like.
I mean, it's one of my best jokes.
What's the difference between your mom and my mom? Yours is alive.
I fucked my mom.
Oh my god.
It's a joke. It's a joke. My mom's alive too, but I just wanted to kill the mood because it's the end of the show.
I mean, the onion joke made me cry, but this one just.
Everyone, please.
You guys are fucking awesome and amazing. Can we all fucking put our hands together and make a bunch of fucking weird noise for goddamn Will for putting this on?
Yeah!
Because I'm driving. And I
Thank you.
Let's masturbate to his voice. Yeah.
This is energy.
You guys do that too?
Listen, I only heard one guy that fucking did bad, and he got banned. He didn't even do a set. So everyone else, put your hands together for yourself.
Fuck yeah! Hey.
Okay, guys. So let's make it a wrap. Just for the record, my mom is alive. I need to say it because I feel bad now for the joke. I love you, mom. I love you, mom. If you ever listen to this, I love you. And I want that everybody says goodbye, and then we see each other next week. Goodbye.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Everyone.
And cut.
Keep writing jokes, motherfuckers. Woo!